Life has a way of surprising us, pushing ordinary people into extraordinary situations. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can spark a chain reaction that changes lives forever. This is the story of Noah Parker, a teenage boy with a humble heart, a struggling family, and a future that seemed bleak, until one chance encounter turned everything around. Noah Parker's alarm blared, its shrill tones cutting through the quiet of the cramped apartment. He groaned, rolling out of bed and rubbing the sleep from his eyes. The cracked window pane let in a sliver of the morning sun, its light catching on the stack of overdue bills that sat on the kitchen counter. His mother, Clara, had already left for work, her note scribbled hastily on a scrap of paper. "Have a good day at school. Honey, love you." Noah grabbed his backpack and stepped out into the fresh morning air. Their apartment complex was aging, peeling paint and sagging gutters, but it was home. As he walked, the sound of his sneakers crunching on the sidewalk echoed in his ears. He passed through the usual sights, Mrs. Henderson tending to her small garden, stray cats lounging in the alley, and the faint aroma of fresh bagels from the corner bakery. The Parker family lived on the outskirts of Ashwood, a small city with stark contrasts. On one side were neighborhoods like Noah's, modest, working-class homes. On the other were towering skyscrapers and upscale communities, where shiny cars zipped down pristine streets. Noah had to cut through the downtown district to get to school. It was a route he always took, though it felt like stepping into another world. As he passed Ashwood Plaza, he noticed the morning bustle, professionals in sharp suits, mothers with strollers, and tourists snapping photos of the iconic glass buildings. That's when he saw her. Near the entrance of a tall office building, a woman stood clutching her belly. She was visibly pregnant and looked pale, her knees wobbling as if they might give out at any moment. People walked by, some glancing her way but doing nothing to help. Noah froze for a moment, unsure of what to do. His mom always told him to be careful, especially in this part of town where people might not trust a kid like him. But something inside him stirred. He couldn't just walk away. "Mom, are you okay?" Noah called, rushing toward her. The woman tried to respond, but her voice was faint. Suddenly, her legs gave way, and Noah barely caught her in time. He eased her down to the sidewalk, his heart pounding. "It's going to be okay," he said, trying to sound calm. People began to gather, their murmurs blending into a dull hum. Noah noticed a security guard approaching, his expression wary. The guard's hand hovered near his radio, his sharp eyes fixed on Noah. "What's going on here?" the guard demanded, his voice stern. "I'm helping her," Noah replied, raising his hands. "She's not feeling well. I think she needs medical attention." Before the guard could say more, another voice rang out, firm and commanding. "Let him be." Noah turned to see a man in a tailored suit stepping out of the building. His silver hair gleamed in the sunlight, and his expression was one of both authority and concern. He rushed toward them, kneeling beside the woman. "Ellie, are you all right?" The woman managed a weak nod, her hand gripping the man's arm. It was clear to Noah that this was her husband. "An ambulance is on the way," someone from the crowd said. The man, whom Noah now recognized as Andrew Collins, the CEO of Collins Enterprises, looked at Noah with gratitude. "You helped her," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "What's your name?" "Noah," he replied, suddenly feeling small under the weight of the man's gaze. The sound of approaching sirens filled the air, and Noah stepped back as paramedics arrived. He watched as they carefully placed the woman, Ellie, onto a stretcher. Andrew Collins turned back to Noah, pulling a business card from his pocket. "Please, take this. I want to do something for you," he said earnestly. Noah hesitated before taking the card. "Thank you, but I didn't do it for a reward." Collins nodded, his eyes softening. "That makes it even more important. Call me." As the ambulance sped away, Noah stood on the sidewalk, the weight of the moment sinking in. The crowd dispersed, leaving him alone with his thoughts. He slipped the card into his pocket and headed to school, feeling a strange mixture of pride and uncertainty. Little did he know, that single act of kindness would soon change his life forever. The next morning, Noah sat at the small kitchen table, staring at the crumpled business card in his hand. The name, Andrew Collins, stood out in embossed letters, along with a phone number. He had barely slept, his thoughts racing between what had happened and the possibilities ahead. His mom, Clara, bustled around the kitchen, her diner uniform slightly wrinkled from another early morning shift. She glanced at him, concern creasing her brow. "What's that, honey?" she asked, nodding toward the card. Noah hesitated. "It's from a man I helped yesterday. His wife, she was in trouble. And I helped her. He said I should call him." Clara paused, her hands resting on the counter. "Noah, that's amazing. But be careful. People like that, they might not always mean what they say." Noah nodded, unsure himself, but something about Andrew Collins had seemed genuine. Before he could respond, his mom's phone buzzed, and she had to rush out the door for her second job. Left alone, Noah made up his mind. He grabbed the old landline phone and dialed the number. His hands trembled slightly as it rang. "This is Andrew Collins." The voice on the other end answered, firm but kind. "Hi, this is Noah Parker," he stammered. "I'm the kid who helped your wife yesterday." There was a brief pause. Then Collins's voice softened. "Noah, I'm so glad you called. How are you, son?" "I'm okay," Noah said, glancing around the small apartment. "I just wanted to thank you for the card." "You're the one who deserves thanks," Collins said. "Listen, I'd really like to meet with you. Are you free tomorrow afternoon? Come by my office." Noah swallowed hard. Sure, I can do that." After ending the call, Noah felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. What could a man like Andrew Collins want from someone like him? The next day, Noah stood in front of the Collins Enterprises building, his heart pounding. The skyscraper loomed above him, its glass walls reflecting the bustling city around it. He adjusted the collar of his worn jacket and stepped inside. The lobby was enormous, filled with people in sharp suits and polished shoes. Noah felt out of place, but he straightened his back and approached the receptionist. "I'm here to see Mr. Collins," he said, his voice steadier than he expected. The receptionist gave him a once-over but then smiled politely. "Take the elevator to the top floor. He's expecting you." Noah followed her instructions, the ride up feeling like an eternity. When the doors opened, he found himself in a luxurious office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Andrew Collins stood by the window, turning as Noah entered. "Noah, welcome," Collins said, extending a hand. "Hi, Mr. Collins," Noah replied, shaking his hand awkwardly. "Please, call me Andrew." he said with a smile. Come, sit. They sat at a sleek glass table. And Collins leaned forward, his expression serious but warm. Noah, I owe you more than words can express. You didn't just help my wife, you might have saved her life. And I want to repay that kindness. Noah shook his head. I didn't do it for a reward. Sir, that's exactly why I want to help you. Andrew said. Tell me about yourself. What's life like for you and your family? Noah hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. It's fine, I guess. My mom works a lot. And money's tight. But we get by. Collins frowned, clearly reading between the lines. You're a good kid, Noah. You deserve more than just getting by. What can I do to make things better for you? Noah thought about the eviction notice at home. The sacrifices his mom made every day. He took a deep breath. My mom, she's been trying to find a better job. She works so hard, but it's not enough. If you could help her, that would mean everything. Collins nodded, his expression resolute. Consider it done. Bring her here tomorrow. We'll find something for her at the company. Noah blinked, hardly believing what he'd heard. Really? You'd do that? Of course. Andrew said. But I'm not stopping there. You have a bright future, Noah, and I want to help you realize it. Let's start with your mom. And then we'll talk about you. Noah left the office feeling lighter than he had in years. For the first time, hope felt real, not just a distant dream. That evening, Noah shared the news with his mom. Clara was stunned, her eyes filling with tears. Noah, I don't know what to say. She whispered. Just meet with him, Mom, Noah said, gripping her hands. He wants to help. We've got nothing to lose. Clara nodded slowly, a glimmer of hope lighting her tired face. The next morning, Noah and his mom stood in front of the Collins Enterprises building. Clara wore her best blouse, carefully ironed, though it had seen better days. Her hands trembled slightly as she clutched her purse. You don't have to be nervous, Mom, Noah said, his voice reassuring. Mr. Collins is nice. He really wants to help. Clara smiled at her son, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. I'm not used to people offering us anything, Noah. It feels unreal. The receptionist directed him to the same elevator Noah had taken the day before. As they ascended, Clara adjusted her blouse, her reflection in the polished walls reminding her of how far removed she felt from this world. When the doors opened, Andrew Collins was waiting with a welcoming smile. Mrs. Parker, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Andrew. Clara shook his hand, her voice steady despite her nerves. Thank you for seeing us. Mr. Collins. Andrew, please, he corrected warmly. Come on in, both of you. He led him to a smaller, more private office where coffee and pastries were neatly arranged on a table. Please, make yourselves comfortable, he said. I want to talk about how we can make things better for your family. Clara hesitated. Mr. Collins, I'm not looking for charity. I've worked hard all my life. And I just want a fair chance. Andrew nodded, clearly impressed. I respect that. Mrs. Parker, we're not talking about charity. Collins Enterprises has an opening in our facilities management team. Honest work. Good benefits. I think you'd be an excellent fit. Clara's eyes widened, disbelief flickering across her face. You'd hire me, just like that? Andrew smiled. Not just like that. I've seen the kind of values your son has. And I can only imagine he gets that from you. Hard-working, selfless people like you deserve opportunities. Let's get you started." Tears welled in Clara's eyes, but she blinked them back, determined not to cry. "Thank you, Mr. Collins. You don't know what this means to us." Noah watched the exchange, pride swelling in his chest. His mom had spent years shouldering burdens alone, and now someone was finally recognizing her worth. A week later, Clara began her new job. Noah watched her leave the apartment that morning, dressed in the crisp navy uniform provided by Collins Enterprises. She looked different, taller, stronger, and more confident. At school, Noah's day felt lighter. For once, he wasn't weighed down by worries about eviction notices or his mom working double shifts. He even found himself participating more in class, his teachers nodding approvingly at his renewed focus. During lunch, his classmate Ethan slid into the seat across from him. "Dude, I saw the post about you saving that woman," Ethan said, pulling out his phone. "It's all over social media. You're famous." Noah frowned. "What post?" Ethan showed him a picture someone had taken that day outside Collins Enterprises, Noah kneeling next to Ellie Collins, helping her steady herself. The caption read, "Teen hero saves pregnant woman in distress. True kindness still exists." Noah groaned, shrinking into his seat. "Great. Just what I needed." "Are you kidding?" Ethan said. "People love this stuff. You're like a real-life superhero." Noah shook his head. "I just did what anyone would do." "Not anyone," Ethan replied. "That's what makes it cool." After school, Noah stopped by Collins Enterprises to meet his mom. He waited in the lobby, watching employees come and go. When she finally appeared, her face was flushed but glowing with pride. "Noah," Clara called, waving as she approached. "You wouldn't believe it. Everyone's been so kind, and Mr. Collins even checked in on me personally." "That's great, Mom," Noah said, smiling. "You look happy." "I am," she said, pulling him into a quick hug. "For the first time in a long time. I feel like we're going to be okay." That evening, as they sat together over dinner, Clara brought up something that had been on her mind. "Noah," she began, "Mr. Collins mentioned you during our break today. He said he sees a lot of potential in you." Noah paused mid-bite. "What does that mean?" "He wants to talk to you again," Clara said. "He mentioned something about helping you with school. Maybe even a scholarship." Noah blinked, the weight of her words sinking in. A scholarship? For someone like him? It sounded impossible. "Do you think I should go?" Noah asked quietly. Clara reached across the table, taking his hand in hers. "Of course. You should. You've always been capable of so much." "Noah, maybe now the world's finally starting to see it." The next afternoon, Noah found himself back at Collins Enterprises. This time, he was meeting Andrew Collins alone. The thought made him nervous, but he also felt a spark of excitement he couldn't ignore. As he stepped into the office, Andrew greeted him warmly, gesturing for him to sit in the same chair he had sat in before. "Noah, I'm glad you could make it," Andrew said, his tone both professional and kind. "Your mom is doing a fantastic job. I couldn't be happier with how things are working out." Noah nodded. "She really likes it here. Thanks for giving her a chance." Andrew leaned forward, his expression turning serious. "Now, let's talk about you. You're a bright kid, Noah. I can see it in the way you carry yourself and in the decisions you've made. You don't think about what's easy, you think about what's right." That's a rare quality. Noah felt his cheeks warm at the praise. I just try to do the best I can. Andrew smiled. That's exactly why I want to invest in you. Have you ever thought about college? The question caught Noah off guard. College felt like a distant dream. Something out of reach for someone in his position. I mean, I've thought about it, he admitted, but I don't think it's something I could afford. Well, Andrew said, his voice steady, that's where I come in. I've spoken with a foundation I work closely with, and they're interested in offering you a full scholarship. It would cover everything: tuition, books, even room and board if you wanted to attend school out of state. Noah's jaw dropped. Are you serious? As serious as I can be. Andrew replied. You deserve this. Noah, with the right education, you could go anywhere and do anything. For a moment, Noah couldn't speak. The weight of the offer pressed against his chest, not in a bad way, but in a way that made him realize how much this could change his life. What's the catch? Noah finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Andrew chuckled. No catch. Just one condition. You work hard. Stay focused. And never forget where you came from. Remember to help others along the way. Just like you've done for my family. Noah nodded, the words sinking in. I can do that. The following weekend, Noah and Andrew met with the representatives from the foundation at a local university. The campus was sprawling, with lush green lawns and historic brick buildings. It was a place Noah never thought he'd see, let alone attend. As they entered the meeting room, a man in a blazer with the foundation's logo extended his hand. Noah Parker, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Bennett, Director of the Rising Futures Scholarship Program. Nice to meet you, Noah replied, shaking his hand firmly. Dr. Bennett gestured for them to sit. We've heard great things about you from Mr. Collins. Your story is inspiring. Noah, the way you helped Mrs. Collins shows not just bravery but compassion and integrity. Those are qualities we look for in our scholarship recipients. The meeting progressed, with Dr. Bennett and his team explaining the terms of the scholarship. Noah listened intently, his mind racing with possibilities. By the end, the paperwork was signed, and Noah was officially a Rising Futures Scholar. That evening, Noah returned home and shared the news with Clara. She clutched him tightly, tears streaming down her face. I'm so proud of you. Noah, this is everything I've ever wanted for you. It's not just for me. Mom, Noah said, his voice thick with emotion. It's for us. Everything I do, I'm doing for us. The next week, news of the scholarship spread. At school, Noah found himself in the spotlight. His classmates congratulated him, and even his teachers commended his achievement. But it was Ethan who summed it up best during lunch. You're not just a hero anymore. Dude, Ethan said with a grin. You're a legend. Noah rolled his eyes, laughing despite himself. I'm just a kid who got lucky. Nah, Ethan said. You made your own luck. Meanwhile, Noah spent his free time preparing for the next step. He visited the library often, checking out books on college prep and brushing up on subjects he knew he'd need to excel in. He also started to think about what he wanted to study. Maybe something in engineering or science. Something that would allow him to create, to make a difference. One afternoon, while sitting in the library, Andrew Collins stopped by unexpectedly. How's my favorite scholar doing? Noah grinned, setting down his book, trying to get ready for what's next. Andrew sat across from him, his expression proud. You're going to do great. Noah, I have no doubt about that. Thanks, Noah said, but I couldn't have done any of this without you. Andrew shook his head. You did this. Noah, I just helped open a door. You were the one who walked through it. The day Noah had been preparing for finally arrived. His first day as a college student. The months leading up to this moment had been a whirlwind of preparation, excitement, and nerves. Noah stood outside the entrance of Ashwood University, the Rising Futures Scholarship Program's partner school. The campus buzzed with energy as students rushed between classes, their laughter and chatter filling the crisp autumn air. Noah clutched his backpack tightly, glancing around at the towering buildings and sprawling lawns. For a kid from a modest neighborhood, it felt like stepping into a different world, a world full of opportunity and promise. Since receiving the scholarship, Noah had worked tirelessly to prepare for this new chapter. Over the summer, he attended workshops hosted by the foundation, where he learned everything from time management to financial literacy. He met other scholarship recipients, each with their own inspiring stories, and realized he wasn't alone in his journey. Back home, life had changed for the better. Clara had settled into her new job, earning a steady income that allowed him to move into a slightly larger apartment. The eviction notices and endless cycle of overdue bills were now a thing of the past. For the first time in years, their home felt stable and secure. On the night before Noah left for college, Clara had pulled him into a tight hug. "I'm going to miss you so much," she whispered, her voice trembling, "but I know you're going to do amazing things. I'll make you proud, Mom," Noah promised. "You already have," she said, wiping away tears. "But don't forget to call every day, if you can." Noah had laughed, though he secretly planned to keep that promise. Noah's first day of classes went by in a blur. The professors were passionate, the coursework challenging, and his fellow students driven. For someone who had always felt like an outsider, Noah was surprised by how quickly he found his footing. His study habits, honed during his library visits back home, served him well as he tackled assignments and took notes during lectures. That evening, as he walked back to his dorm, he called Clara. "How's it going, sweetheart?" she asked, her voice filled with excitement. "It's great, Mom," Noah replied. "It's a lot, but I think I can handle it. The campus is huge, and the professors are amazing. I knew you'd do well," Clara said. "Remember, one step at a time." "I will," Noah said. "Love you, Mom." "Love you too, Noah." A few weeks into the semester, Noah was asked to speak at a Rising Futures Scholarship event. The foundation wanted him to share his story, to inspire donors and other students. At first, Noah hesitated. Public speaking wasn't his strong suit, but Andrew Collins encouraged him. "You've already inspired so many people, Noah," Andrew said. "This is your chance to show them how much their support means." On the day of the event, Noah stood on a brightly lit stage in front of a crowd of philanthropists, students, and community leaders. He gripped the edges of the podium, his heart pounding. "My name is Noah Parker," he began, his voice steady despite the nerves. "A few months ago, I never thought I'd be standing here. My life was different. My mom and I struggled every day just to get by. But one small act of kindness changed everything." He recounted the day he helped Ellie Collins, the turning point that led him to where he was now. He spoke about his mom's resilience, Andrew Collins's generosity, and the opportunities the scholarship had opened for him. "I'm here because someone believed in me," Noah said, his voice filled with emotion. "And I want to use this opportunity to prove that their belief wasn't misplaced. More than that, I want to pay it forward, to help others the way I've been helped." The room erupted into applause as Noah stepped away from the podium, his heart racing with a mix of relief and pride. Andrew met him backstage, a proud smile on his face. "You nailed it, Noah." As the semesters rolled by, Noah thrived. He majored in engineering, driven by a desire to create solutions to real-world problems. He joined campus organizations that focused on mentorship, using his own story to inspire younger students who were struggling with their own challenges. Noah also stayed connected with the Rising Futures Foundation, volunteering at events and helping other scholarship recipients navigate their paths. He never forgot where he came from or the people who had helped him along the way. Years later, Noah returned to Ashwood as a graduate with honors and a job offer from a prominent engineering firm. His mom beamed with pride as she watched him cross the stage at his graduation, cheering louder than anyone else in the crowd. Shortly after, Noah visited Andrew Collins at his office. The man who had once been a stranger was now a mentor and a friend. As they sat across from each other, Andrew leaned back with a satisfied smile. "I told you you'd do great things," Andrew said. Noah smiled. "And I told you I'd never forget where I came from. Thank you for everything, Mr. Collins." Andrew chuckled. "You don't owe me anything, Noah. Just keep being the person you are." Noah Parker's story became a testament to the power of kindness and the ripple effect it could create. His small act of compassion for Ellie Collins had sparked a chain reaction that changed not only his life but the lives of many others. And through it all, Noah carried the same lesson he had learned that fateful day: kindness costs nothing but can change everything. The end of one chapter was just the beginning of a story still being written, a story of resilience, gratitude, and the unwavering belief that even the smallest actions can lead to the greatest changes. Noah Parker's journey reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness can ripple outward, transforming not just one life but countless others. His courage, humility, and determination in the face of challenges are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In a world often divided by differences, Noah's story shows us that compassion and generosity can build bridges where walls once stood. This isn't just a story about one boy's transformation, it's a call to action for all of us. What would the world look like if each of us chose kindness? If we stopped to help a stranger, lent a hand to those in need, or simply believed in someone who's struggling? Imagine the possibilities. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become consumed by our own challenges. But Noah's journey reminds us of something important. One act of kindness can spark a change that grows beyond anything we can imagine. To everyone watching, we hope this story inspires you to look for opportunities to make a difference in your own way. Whether it's helping someone in need, supporting your community, or simply choosing to see the good in others, your actions matter. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more uplifting and inspiring tales, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on the latest stories that celebrate the strength of the human spirit. It's completely free, and your support helps us continue to bring these powerful narratives to life. So, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a new story. And if this video touched your heart, leave a comment or share it with someone who needs a little hope and inspiration today. Thank you for being part of our community. And we can't wait to share more incredible stories with you. Until next time, remember, kindness costs nothing, but its impact can be priceless. See you soon. Loudspeaker subscribe now for free. Bell turn on notifications. Thumbs up, like, comment, and share. Together, let's spread hope and kindness one story at a time. Thank you for watching. Sparkling Heart.